Basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast. I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting back.
There's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place.
Caitlin Clark has said she is taking a vacation from basketball until April. Meanwhile, Alyssa Thomas has spoken out about the slurs she received from Caitlin Clark followers. Ryan Ruo Caitlin Clark will not play off-season basketball for at least 200 days.
Allow me to publicly thank the Indiana Fever for putting up such a great fight tonight and for battling back again and again and again all season long. Let me thank Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell and all the rest for refusing to say die, refusing to lose, fighting back again and again and again, and playing at a much higher level than they should be at this stage and age. Was I ever entertained?
Caitlin Clark was also tackled to the ground in her last game. No surprise there. And of course, no penalty was awarded. Can someone explain to me how it wasn't a foul? Oh wait, I already know it's because it was on Caitlin Clark.
That this group accomplished that, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible, one, to start the season, and two, after the start we had to the season. So, yeah, it'll definitely be probably a little weird for me over the course of the first couple weeks, and then I'm sure I'll get bored and pick up a basketball again, so.
Alyssa Thomas was not happy after the game, even though she was a part of her team's success. She was unhappy with the way fans treated her throughout the game, specifically calling out Fever fans. Yet when she got tackled by Angel Reese a while ago, she had nothing to say. But when it comes to Caitlin, it's a different story.
We don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world and what we have to deal with in that aspect. And, we come to play basketball for our job and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for, and something needs to be done, whether it's, them checking their fans or this league checking. There's no time for it.
Is Caitlin Clark's decision to rest after her breakout WNBA season a turning point in her career? And what does it mean for the future of women's basketball? As Caitlin Clark steps off the court for the next 200-plus days, fans and analysts alike are left wondering how her absence will affect not only the Indiana Fever, but also the WNBA as a whole. Caitlin's decision to choose rest above playing overseas or 3-3 basketball marks a departure in her approach to her career. But what does this mean for the WNBA's future popularity and the wider impact on women's sports? Caitlin has taken herself a well-deserved sabbatical, which surprised some but is quite acceptable given her enormous workload this season. Caitlin Clark literally played close to a complete NBA season. She played in 81 games over the course of 324 days and was on the floor for 2,850 minutes.
Now has 761 points, breaking the record once held by Simone Augustus. However, there is a caveat. Augustus set the mark back in 2006 when the WNBA regular season was just 34 games. Clark broke the record in 39.
Let's start by talking about Caitlin's last game. It wasn't just any regular season matchup. It was a playoff game, a moment where everything was on the line and the pressure was at its highest, facing off against a strong Connecticut Sun team. The odds were stacked against the Fever, but Caitlin showed up in typical fashion, delivering a performance that proved why she has become such a talked-about player. In that game, Caitlin put up an impressive 25 points and dished out time and again. She set up her teammates with flawless passes only to watch as they missed easy layups. This wasn't simply bad luck. Caitlin's playmaking ability was on full display. She was creating opportunities, finding her teammates in the ideal locations, and making the game simpler for everyone around her. However, the shots just weren't falling.
I would grade myself. I'm a tough grader. I feel like I had a solid year, but for me, the fun part is like I feel like I'm just scratching the surface, and I'm one that's nitpicking every single thing I do. And I know I want to, help this franchise get even better, help my teammates get even better, be better for my teammates. And I know there's a lot of room for me to continue to improve. So that's what excites me the most. I feel like I can continue to get a lot better, and before we know it, I'm sure we'll all be back here. And
The pressure in that game wasn't just on Caitlin's shoulders. A team that had struggled throughout parts of the season was up against a well-rounded and playoff-experienced Connecticut Sun squad. But Caitlin wasn't one to back down from a challenge from the start. She attacked the basket, took her shots with confidence, and made sure that she gave her team the best chance to win.
A lot of players, a lot of these wonderful ladies who bust their tail to make the WNBA what it was. Here's the reality. It wasn't what it is. The quality of basketball may have been up to snuff, and you had somebody as popular as Cheryl Swoops, who had her own signature shoe, had to deal with Nike and all of this other stuff. But the bottom line is, very few people gave a damn.
Caitlin's final game may have been disappointing, but her season as a whole was nothing short of fantastic. This was the year when Caitlin Clark confirmed her place as one of the most dynamic and skilled players in the WNBA, from her scoring prowess to her ability to create for others. Caitlin was the heart and soul of the Indiana Fever. It's important to understand how impressive Caitlin's season was, especially given the high level of competition in the WNBA. Every team in the league knew that Caitlin was the player to stop. Defenses were designed to slow her down, and opposing coaches constantly made adjustments to limit her impact. But Caitlin consistently found ways to perform at an elite level night in and night out.
It was a lot of fun watching Caitlin Clark's rookie season, which is now over. The Indiana Fever knocked out of the postseason by the Connecticut Sun in a 2-game sweep. And so we got to see the carryover from Iowa transition to the pro game, her ability to help develop a team's cohesion and chemistry. And we saw that work so well as the season went on. Clearly brought like a magnet phenomenal attention to the league, bringing new fans, a committed fan base, not just in her home arena, but bringing fans to away arenas and packing the houses and increasing different venues from smaller to larger because of their presence. It's been
Caitlin's ability to score from deep range is perhaps one of her most notable attributes. She has an uncanny ability to hit three-pointers from well beyond the arc, and she does so with incredible efficiency, forcing defenders to play her tight, opening up driving lanes that she can exploit with her speed and ball-handling skills. But Caitlin isn't just a scorer. She's also one of the league's best playmakers, regularly dishing out assists and getting her teammates. Caitlin has a unique ability to see the floor and make the right pass at the right time, allowing her to focus completely on scoring points. Her 9 assists in her final game were a fantastic illustration of this. And as previously noted, she could have had even more if her teammates converted more of their opportunities. But beyond the numbers, what really set Caitlin apart this season was her leadership. As a young Caitlin took on a significant role for the Fever. She became the player that her teammates looked to in critical moments, whether it was hitting a big shot in the closing minutes or making a key defensive play. Caitlin was always there when her team needed her the most. This leadership, combined with her on-court talent, made her one of the most important players in the WNBA this year.
It's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, they ride for her. And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on it.
After such an intense and demanding season, it's no surprise that Caitlin has decided to take some time off. Many WNBA players choose to play overseas during the off-season, not only to stay in shape, but also to earn additional income. But Caitlin has made the decision to skip overseas play and rest instead. For her, the choice was clear. She needed a break. It's worth noting that the WNBA season can be extremely grueling, especially for players who take on as much responsibility.
Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now immediately? Absolutely not. Not gonna happen.
Okay. I don't know.
Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA goes beyond just her on-court performances. She has become a cultural figure, someone who has drawn new fans to the league and brought a level of excitement that hasn't been seen in years. Now that she's out of the playoffs, there's a sense of loss not just for the Fever, but for the league as a whole. Caitlin brought something special to the WNBA, an energy and excitement that resonated with fans. Her absence will be felt, and it's clear that